What's up, YouTube? It's your favorite wizard that never was, Spoot. We're here with Seven Deadly Sins because it's the video game we are currently playing. The banner is here, the first one. We got a global drop, and it is very different from what a lot of people were expecting. There are both benefits and negatives to this, and we'll kind of go over a little bit and sort of what to expect in the future. A lot of this stuff was data mined several days ago. I don't really usually cover data mines because games and developers in the past have proven that sometimes those can be very unreliable, as people will data mine things that either aren't going to be in the game for some time and hype it up as this is the next thing versus things that sometimes are just leftovers. So you can't always be 100% sure that the data mine stuff is what you're getting. So let's go over the banner. You get Red Merlin, which is different than JP. On the first banner, you got Green Merlin and PvP Hellroom, which is the red one. This is just Red Merlin, who is definitely a waifu of choice. I don't know if I'm sold on picking her as a banner. We'll go over that as a little bit, but she's fine. She's definitely a good unit. She does inflict disable recovery skills on her regular poison wave. It's not too bad. It's one enemy. It's 220%. Her big move is the freeze. You get a little bit of damage and you can freeze targets for more than one turn. And then her ult is kind of where it goes interesting. So Exterminate Ray is 540% of attack on one enemy, and it disables attack skills for 2 turns. So not only are you nuking somebody, but you are potentially taking them out of the fight for a couple of turns unless they have a Purify or something of that league. So for the most part, all of this is, you know, this is how it works. This is what it's going to be. And if we're looking at characters, I'm just bringing up the actual sets for Merlin. Her and the green one are pretty comparable. They're essentially the same unit with a couple of differences. The reason the green one tends to be used a little bit more is because she has ultimate move gauge removals. So her regular abilities are she blows somebody up and takes some orbs, and her secondary ability creates a barrier, which is pretty good. That isn't to say Red Merlin is not good. She is a decent nuker. She doesn't have quite as much utility as Green Merlin, so you're not going to see her quite as much on as many teams because she's not as effective. You will definitely end up seeing Green Merlin a little more often, but if you need a red hero, she is serviceable. She's not awful. She's just not amazing. Also, the rates are hot garbage. So the regular, I believe it's 0.14 without pity. She's at a 0.5% rate up on a 3% SSR banner, so she's infinitesimally easier to get than the other SSRs, I guess, so not crazy. She's not a limited unit. She goes in the pool, so like eventually you're going to pull her off of your weeklies. Like, that's not a big concern. But with the SSR banners getting split and Bond possibly getting his own banner now, I don't know if it's worth it. Green Bond, according to the data mines, not only is in the coin shop as of today, he may also be getting his own banner shortly. Neither of which unit, either her or Bon, is really crazy worth grabbing. So Bon is good for a long time, but you have Hellbrim coming out, who is arguably one of the best PvP units in the game outside of like Gother, who will also be coin shopping soon. So my personal recommendation is I'd skip it. If this is the first banner and Bon is the next banner, I'd skip both of them. Personally, just because I don't really need either unit. I've got a decent enough draw, and I've pulled a couple of SRs that are pretty reliable, so I'm not super worried about it. It's really your call. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life. You're here to look to me for advice. I don't think the banner is worth it, especially with that rates, and especially considering she's not a limited unit. Green Merlin tends to strictly be better, and since Global does look like they're only going to be doing single hero banners going forward, I don't know if it's really worth it. There are only a handful of banner heroes that you really need to pull on: Escanor, Hellbrum, Derry when she comes out, Demon Melee, that kind of stuff. Like, there are certain heroes that the banners you should go absolutely wild on. This isn't one of them. So, if you really like Merlin, wait for the green one. If you gotta have a red unit, she's not awful to have. That's really all I got for you. There's not a crazy amount of information floating around past this. There is a little bit of a speculation, like I said, that we've got the 7 Deadly Sins Bond coming out, the green one, who is a pretty good tier unit, but if he's on a banner and the coin shop, I mean, I can show you. He cycled in with, here's the actual cool thing. So with the Red Demon Raid that has come out, that we will talk about in a second, they actually put the Green King in the set. Let me see if it'll let me actually look at him. So he is actually one of the units used for burst damaging and farming the Grey Demon. The Red Demon already being out isn't too big of a deal. You just had to clear Chapter 5. The downside being is these are coins. Like, you got to have dupes. If you have them, it's not too bad, but Blue Bond, probably not worth it. And then you've got Hauser and Griamore, both of which are pretty serious units. Next week is SSR Gil Thunder, which is he's fine. He's not great. And then you've got Jericho, who is usable because she has a ridiculous amount of crit, and you can build her pen to get like those 30k, 40k hits. Some people are, with the right equipment, grinding her up towards 100k hits, but she does not survive the meta well. She is not looked upon fondly, I guess is what I should say. So let's go into the... well, I haven't even unlocked it yet because I haven't finished the thing. But we'll go into what you can do. So if you have your guys at, UR 60, you can now limit break them. I can't because I haven't done it, but what this does is it lets you take their level 5 levels higher. So it would go from 65 to 70, 75 to 80. And you do it from, you have to have materials from the Red Demon, the Grey Demon, and the Unreleased Demon, which I believe is Crimson. I don't really know a whole bunch about that fight. I'm really just a global player, so I have to rely on JP players to kind of give me a heads up and tell me what's going on. Shout out to Reed Torrico for that, just because his group's been really, really helpful. Like, Neo's is a solid dude, so don't be afraid to reach out on Twitter if you need some help. He's got some good folks behind him, and he is pretty knowledgeable about the game. And obviously, like, Ignat and them, Nagato, like, I'm not going to tell you that I'm the dude to listen to. A lot of people have been through this significantly longer than I have. But, I mean, you have resources to look at future events and be like, how do I plan my banners? How do I plan my awakenings? Because there are only going to be a reasonable amount of pendants you're going to be able to farm up until you get to the later game. So especially this early in the game, you have to be exceptionally careful how you build your characters. And with banners coming out that seem to be one SSR split, planning them is significantly more important now. A lot of people were like, I'm just going to throw... Like, I have enough. I will probably do... At the end of this, I'll do a pull on Merlin. I am not expecting to get her, and it's the only one I'm doing. I am telling you that this is just because I love you and I am willing to spend diamonds to make you people happy, because that's my job. I will also say, you shouldn't do it. She is not the banner to really go for. She's just not that good. Like, green is significantly better for Merlin. Not that red Merlin is a bad DPS unit. She's just not as good as other units. So that's the Awakenings. That's the limit breaking. That's the Merlin go over. Told you a little bit about the data mining. You can find that on other channels. We don't really cover it because I don't like giving you guys information that may not necessarily be concrete and may not be in the timeline the way we think it is. Like, Global has definitely shaken things up. Arguably worse than better, just because you're just adding a single SSR to the pool every 2 weeks instead of 2 every 3, possibly 4, which in some instances ends up being the same time, and others it doesn't. Just because after Hellbrum, the only unit you're looking for is Escanor and Demon Melee, and then Derry. So I guess Estarossa as well, but it's 50-50. It's a very big crapshoot, and I don't think we're going to be catching up to JP anytime soon, especially with them splitting banners. So I will go ahead and pull one Merlin just to show you people how it's done. Do not expect, I am totally expecting this to be hot garbage fire, but I'm doing it because I love you. And people need to tell their people that they love them more often. Tell your homies you love them. Oh, dear God. Am I actually... Alright, let's see what happens. Maybe. Nope. No demon signal. I may get it, but it is unlikely at this point. See what the banner is. It's gold. May upgrade. Probably not. Yep. Whole bunch of poopy. Which is essentially what I expected it to be. I need the coins anyway, so it's not like it's a proper deal. I'm gonna get a lot of coins off of this. Appreciate 2 in a row, huh? Another chair. Ruin shows up a lot in my pools. I've just started seeing Taizu, so it's not the worst thing. And that's it. All coins, baby, all coins. So that is it for us. I will have a mention after the sign-off, just because we do have a vendor that's looking to get you guys some value. That was it. I spent 30 coins to get I spent 30 diamonds to get a bunch of coins. I would not expect that to, like, that's probably likely what you're going to get. And especially with resources only being so much. Like, even at the end of the story, I've only added... I bought one of the monthly passes, which is actually a pretty good deal. But even then, you're only going to get 140 to 180 stones, depending on how you spend them. So be careful about it. Like, make sure you grind out all of your achievements. Any new events that come in, which we did get a couple. Actually, I'll show those off real quick, too, just so you have them. Rules of the Deadly Sins is still here. We still have the Equipment Enhance and Awakening events. We have the boss battle. Hawk's Coin Pouch is actually pretty good. This one gets you some decent stuff. It also lets you fill up your event achievo, so you can get some more pendants. It's not too bad. You do have, I believe, where is the... It doesn't let me... There we go. Endless Desire, which is the summon. So, I mean, I'm all about it. She's got some good looks. She's just not really... She's not like my type. I guess she could be. I don't know. She's very confident. I like a confident woman. Please beat me! But no, that's it. So, I guess the too long didn't read is pull on it if you really have to. I wouldn't really recommend it just because Hellroom's coming out, and if you have any desire to do PvP, he is kind of a necessary unit between the Kingbroom team. Red, Merlin's okay. If you really want her, like, I pull meta. If you need a waifu, you gotta do what yours right by you, and I ain't gonna tell you otherwise. My generous, unsolicited advice, unless you're watching this video, in which case it's totally solicited, is I'd skip this banner. If we end up getting green Bon on a banner, I would probably skip him too. You don't need to pull on every banner, though. You do need coins. I know everybody, that's the big vacuous statement, like, oh, don't pull on banner. Oh, you need coins for the shop. So, like, eventually you are going to have to spend coins. But upgrading golds does work, and doing stuff like that is a thing. The big deal is just be careful. Like, look at the units beforehand, because pulling on every banner isn't going to get you what units you need, because outside of limited banners, every single one of these guys is either going to be coin shop or pullable at any point. So keep an eye on it. Do your stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Give us a holler. Don't get miserable. All right, so Pain Shop, you can get at him on Discord or Twitter. I've left both of his contacts in the description of the video. He is only doing iOS gems. These are not chargebacks. These are legitimate cards. It's just sort of a bulk buy. You get enough of them, eventually you start, getting kickbacks. Who knew that buying in bulk was good? I'm looking at you, Costco.